Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing with a very different looking show coming your way this week. It's out with the old boys and it's in with the young, as David is on an offshore fishing adventure of Tasmania, and Trelly is, well, who knows where Trelly is, but he's certainly not here. Tonight we discuss another huge achievement by the Victorian Government and Fisheries Victoria, as the 6 millionth fish was stocked into Victorian waters last week. There's loads going on in Catch of the Week, and we discuss the potential changes to Mako Shark regulations. Joining me tonight and travelling all the way from sunny Geelong is Chris Pitman from Trellies in Geelong. Welcome, Chris, and thanks for covering for the boss, mate.
No worries, happy to be here.
And also joining us tonight, a man that is certainly no stranger to talking fishing, the Victorian Fisheries Authority Chief Executive Officer, Travis Dowling. Trav, I hope I got your title right, because it's a bit of a mouthful.
You did.
And thanks for covering for Dave.
Look, lovely to be here. I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, huge week, as it always is this time of year. We're just talking off air then that we're kind of not sure at the moment what's going on, whether it's still fishing season or it's football season, but we all like to believe and we all swear that it's still fishing season, so away we go, another big one. Trav, lots going on and just boxes getting ticked left, right and centre for what's going on for recreational fishers at the moment. Yeah,
it's been massive in fishing, and like all credit to Victorians for getting out there and going fishing, and to our Minister Jala Pulford, who's absolutely supporting us 100%. But getting that 6 millionth fish out, when thinking about not that long ago we were stocking 700,000, it just means so many more fish for Victorians to catch, and it's great.
Yeah, that's it. So you'll see a little interview that we had with Jala during the week. We'll show that later on. But Chris, before we get to any of that, Corio Bay, Geelong, going off its head.
It's on fire. There's squid, garfish, flathead, pinkies. There's even been some elephant fish on the outskirts, so it's just crazy at the moment down there.
So what would you put that down to? I mean, we know, and it's been well documented now, that Corio Bay is now net free.
Yes.
Do you put it down to that? Do you put it down to an exceptional time of the year? What's been the main factor?
It's a mixture of the two. It's definitely an exceptional time of the year to fish the Corio Bay, and having the netters out of there now just only helps things. So there's just plenty more fish, especially with the squid too.
It's great to see, and it's been a brilliant story, and it's good to see results starting to back all that up too. And I'm sure it won't be the last time we speak of Corio Bay as we move into following seasons. But let's get straight into it and have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
We'll open proceedings tonight with Richard. We don't know his surname, but he caught 177 kilo swordfish from Lake Centrance. Now here is a fishery that's very quickly making a very big name for itself over at Lake Centrance.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And you think about Victoria now, we've got southern bluefin tuna at Portland and Warrnambool. We've got, swordfish off Lake Centrance, Murray cod, snapper, barra. There's lots of different fishing options.
That's right, and it wouldn't surprise me in future shows we talk about swordfish at Portland, but that's a discussion for another day.
There you go.
Micah Ham's gummy shark. Chris, you mentioned gummy sharks earlier in the show. It's also happening in Western Port, and Micah there, the young guns getting amongst it with a beautiful little gummy.
That's a great specimen there. It's in good condition.
Keeping in theme with the kids, Nathan, Cameron and Lucas also got stuck into the gummy sharks. Now, there's the boys with a beautiful specimen that come out from Summers. This is the greatest thing about fishing, when the younger generation can get stuck into it like that and really see the quality of the fish that we've got in our backyard.
There's just gummies everywhere at the moment.
It's been exceptional, and it's great to see it start coming back, because it's been a season, I guess, that's been a little bit forgotten about. But it's definitely well and truly on the way back in, as Harrison Fitzgerald and Austin Rose also found out with a beautiful pair of gummy sharks from New Haven. So gummies dominating early proceedings for Catch of the Week.
Oh, they're everywhere, aren't they? Fantastic.
Right. So it's absolutely on fire. This one's exciting because we talk about it and we pump it up a little bit, but Matt Craig got a 4 kilo snapper from the top end of Western Port, and we've been discussing this on the show in previous weeks, that we do get another run of these beautiful fish just before winter really kicks in, and I think we could be seeing the start of something special.
I think that water temperature's just right again.
Yeah, that's it, and they absolutely love it. Now check out this pair, Brian Rinaldi, who is no stranger to snapper and definitely knows his stuff when it comes to Port Phillip Bay snapper. These couple of fish were taken off ansets. They're not small snapper, and you can tell it wasn't a warm morning.
No. Cracking fish, aren't they? And with this snapper breeding now that we've seen happening this year, like that's a great sign for the fishery.
That's right, and we spoke to Paul Hamer last week, Dr. Paul Hamer, I should say, about the cycle we've got to look forward to for snapper. So it's only going to get better, but a couple of great fish there from Brian. Staying with the snapper theme, Sharon Kotso got this 5 kilo snapper out from Mornington. And it's definitely a bit of a theme with the snapper, which we'll touch on later, but that deep water for this time of year is definitely the way to go.
Yep.
So that's another beautiful snapper there. Moving on, this is another part of the year into how good is fishing at the moment. Harry, Ben and Miguel at Port Fairy got this triple hookup, mind you.
Look at that.
Now the lads, there's a bit of a story to this, and I think it's great. The lads tackled those 3 fish on their own, 3-way hookup. It was absolute chaos at the time, but the 3 of them managed to angle that beautifully and end up with a cracking photo like that with 3 of the best sashimi you'll ever eat.
Isn't that fantastic? They all got the fish in and they did that together as a family. I mean, that's just brilliant.
Unbelievable. I think it's a great story, and again, good to see the kids getting amongst it and tackling some of the fish that for, a lot of kids their age would think are completely out of reach.
And it would have been a handful landing them too.
Not the case. That's right. Moving inland now, Roy Brandy sent us this email during the week that he got this beautiful Murray cod up on the Goulburn River.
It's an awesome tip too.
Trelly's been covering this quite comprehensively over the last few weeks, and I know there was a bit of water coming around the Goulburn, but still some beautiful fish going on through there.
I was talking to the guys up in Shep today, and they said the fishing is superb at the moment, especially top water stuff. So
awesome.
Lots of fish, sort of that 55, 65 centimetres, and even bigger, couple of metre fish getting around. So
it's not over yet.
No, it's definitely not over.
And last but not least, another beautiful Murray cod, this time by Brienne Malia. Now, mate, I'm so sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong, but a beautiful Murray cod from the Murray River. I think that is one of the most pristine Murray cod I've ever seen.
Isn't it pretty?
Just immaculate looking fish.
Looks
and
fantastic. Very
interesting, Chris, that we're saying we're in an absolute purple patch for Murray cod, because we're all starting to think that maybe season over as the water starts to cool down.
Nah, not at all.
So there we go. I'm sure hopefully we see a few more Murray cod in the weeks to come.
Well, Dallas De Silva I work with, he got out on the Loddon over the weekend, and there was a few cod caught up there. I think he threw a pompadour around, and
nice.
He was I'm not sure how he actually went, but I know a few blokes caught a few fish. So
awesome. All happening. So, now, if you would like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
So there we have it, boys. A few more fish in the bank for the week. Chris, this gummy shark thing, again, we were talking off air before the show, and you're saying down your way, offshore, the gummy shark fishing.
Especially out of Bowen Heads, that 30-metre mark, they are everywhere. If you sit for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're going to come across one, if not at least two, and they'll be big fish, like 10 to 15 kilos.
Still anchoring, or are you setting up drift pattern?
Anchors, definitely sitting at anchors better.
Yep. Nice. Fresh baits?
Yeah, Australian salmon's the best bait you can get.
Nice, which there's no shortage then.
The other day they were busting all around the boat. We're just sitting there, and it was just a handy bait supply. Just dip a lure in the water and pull one out.
I'll be happy.
They're big.
I'll be
like
happy enough catching them.
Yeah, they're great sport by themselves.
Unreal. And good to see, because I said it seemed to have been a little bit of a lost season, the old gummy shark season. So hopefully it's on its way back, because there's some brilliant fish out there.
Isn't that amazing?
Stay tuned. I'm sure there's more to come. Next on Talking Fishing, fisheries news, and another big stocking milestone by the Victorian government.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Exciting pieces of news coming out of Fisheries this week. We'll open up with an exciting event, and I suggest everyone get down to it because the Snobs Creek Hatchery is holding an open day. So that will be on June the 3rd, 2018. This will be your chance to see a world-class hatchery. They're doing some very exciting things, and the setup down there is absolutely brilliant. So it's a free event from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m, which, like I said, will be on June the 3rd. It's your exclusive opportunity to tour the hatchery at your own pace. Now, Trav, I know you've spent quite a lot of time down at this place, and it is phenomenal. Yeah,
I'd just say to everyone, really, if you can, try and go there and experience it, because we've got a great bunch of staff there that they're mad fishers and they're absolutely committed to what they do. And rec fishing licence money now pays so much towards running the hatchery. So they're really your fish. All of you people that fish out there, they're your fish. Get out there, enjoy the hatchery, see where your money's going, and basically, those fish that you'll see in that hatchery one day hopefully be on the end of your line in Eildon or Loddon, Caspaspe or any of those places.
Now, the thing that blew me away about this place, not only is it a world-class hatchery, but the staff there are so, I guess, truthfully passionate about what they do, almost to the point where it's obsessive. And in order to have a hatchery of this calibre, it has to happen. You have to have that. Yeah. And I think the work they're doing down there is unbelievable. And you'll see with one of the other news items we've got before, as we talk about the 6 million fish stock, that doesn't happen by fluke. So hop down to Snobs Creek, June the 3rd, free event, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. And I suggest you go and have a look because it is a great, great facility. The next one reads as the title, Have Your Say on Minimum Size for Mako Shark. The Victorian Fisheries Authority is proposing to introduce a minimum size of 120 centimetres for all Mako shark species following consideration of a proposal from recreational fishing group VR Fish. VFA Chief Executive Officer Travis Dowling, who is sitting to my left, said shark fishing is popular from boats, the shore and piers right along the Victorian coast. So, Trav, run us through this because I think this is important and I'm behind it 110%. But give us the reasons why this has been brought up now.
Oh, look, absolutely. And I have to say, just a big shout out to a bloke by the name of Marty Alul down at Warrnambool, and Marty's a top bloke. And Verfish and a lot of other rec fishers across Victoria have said, look, Makos are becoming more and more a popular species, and we've seen what's happening with gummies in terms of how great they are to catch. People are out there targeting Makos. But when you see Makos coming in 40 or 50 centimetres long and people are bringing in snapper that are bigger than the Makos, it's not a great look for fishing. It's not a really good look for the fishery when these things can grow to 3 metres. So, we think that it's a really good conversation we want to have with rec fishers in Victoria. Tell us what you think. $1.20 seems to be a pretty reasonable sized shark.
For sure, definitely.
So we've actually got a picture of a Mako that was caught quite recently. Now, that's a serious shark.
She's pretty brave.
That is a serious shark. But I must admit, when I first saw this and read about it, I was all for it. And I've spoken to a few people about it, and they seem to be of the same, I guess, ideas that something's got to happen. I think 120 centimetres is more than reasonable. If that's to me, I'd probably make it a little bit bigger. Just solely because I think working through the shop, and it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts on this too, Chris. Mako Shark used to be a season in its own. Now we've seen the numbers dwindle, and that could be through a heap of different reasons, and I'm not for a second suggesting it's because of what's happening in recreational fishing, but it's important to get on the front foot and get ahead of it now so that we can ensure those seasons come back to the way they used to be.
It is. It's definitely not what it was, say, 10 years ago.
And I remember come January, people were almost torn between snapper, whiting, and Mako sharks. Heading out into Bass Strait, setting up a drift, lots of burley, getting their thing happening. It just doesn't happen as much as what it used to. And it's sad because They're a beautiful fish, and there's nothing like seeing.
They're one of the best
water
sports fish in the ocean.
Yeah, and it is genuine consultation. So to everyone watching tonight, we really want your feedback on this. We want to hear your thoughts about the size limit.
Well, what's the best avenue to give your thoughts? Is it through social media or?
No, absolutely. Jump on our website. There's some information there about sending submissions in. You can send us emails. You can provide comments on Facebook or Instagram or all of our different social media platforms. It's really easy to do, and we really want to hear from Victorians about what their thoughts are on the Mako Shark fishery.
Awesome. So we do encourage you to get on there and have your say, because it is important to keep that fishery alive and healthy. This is huge. The heading reads 6 million reasons to cast a fishing line inland. The Andrews Labor government has today, which was last week, celebrated a new fish stocking record and delivered another key element of its Target 1 million plan, with the release of more than 6 million fish into Victorian waterways in the last year. Minister for Agriculture Jala Pulford, who is no stranger to this show as well, was on hand today at Lake Pakenham to mark the occasion with the release of another 300 rainbow trout into the popular family-friendly lake. Target 1 million is investing a record $46 million into the popular pastime to get more people fishing more often and increase participation to 1 million by 2020. The majority of the trout and Murray cod were grown at the Victorian Fisheries Authority's own hatchery at Snobs Creek near Eildon, which is funded by fishing licence fees and Target 1 million. So we were lucky enough to attend this event at Pakenham during the week, and we've got a short video here as we caught up with Jala Pulford. So here's how it all went down. Thank you very much for joining us once again on Talking Fishing. You're no stranger to the show, and we do appreciate your time. And it's with great pleasure and joy that we're here today, because we're achieving just another, I guess, accomplishment for recreational fishing. I'm not going to steal your thunder. Please run us through why we're here at Lakeside today.
Okay, so we're at Pakenham Lake today. We've just put in 300 beautiful rainbow trout, and that's part of the family-friendly part of fish stocking, where we've got parts of the program that are very geared to school holidays and areas that are nice and easy for kids to get to. But what these 300 represent is that we have now hit a new milestone. 6 million fish have been stocked in the last year in Victoria. So that's a huge number of native fish. Every location in Victoria you can pretty much think of, and we've gone above and beyond our promise. So before the election there were about 3 million a year. That was, as good as the stocking ever got. We promised we'd lift that up to 5 million, but we've smashed that target and we've achieved 6 million a year. Our people at the hatchery at Snobs Creek, I suspect they probably don't sleep a whole lot. They're working day and night and getting amazing results for rackfishers. So I can run you through a few numbers.
Yeah, just before you go, I just want to really push the point that this is well above your original commitment of 5 million fish. Now, the reason that's such a big deal is, now we know with politics it's hard to get these things to actually happen, and we've been holding it pretty accountable on the show. We've got the little checklist.
Yep.
Now, 5 million's a big deal, but to push that out for 6 with no extra push, with no, realistically, you could have got to 5 million and thought that's it, job done. That's how important recreational fishing is to this current government, and I think that's a big deal. And it's something that is probably not going to get the airtime that it should, because it wasn't promised. You hit the promise a long time ago and kept going, and that's the importance of fishing in Victoria, and it's great to know that it's being supported by the government. And this event, you can see behind us, there's fish going in at the moment. It's a big, big deal, but it doesn't stop there. What are some of the numbers that has made up 6 million fish?
Yeah, so the 6 million's huge, and you're absolutely right when you talk about, setting a target, meeting it, and then keeping going. Just while we've been here, putting some fish in, talking to a few people, the local angling club, a woman came by with a little baby and a little girl, 3 years old, and we encouraged her to come and help us put a couple of the fish in, and it's just magic to see. It's just such a wonderful experience, such a great family activity. You know, she was a little hesitant. We showed her how to do it, and she was right into it. So a few numbers. So Snobs Creek and the team there have contributed to Murray cod stocking 1.6 million, 2.5 million golden perch. There's a whole lot of different locations as well. I think this is really important. We always try to be a government and very focused on being a government for the whole of the state. So whether it's a suburban area like Pakenham and this lake here today, or country towns across the state, there's all sorts of fish stocking going on. So 500,000 in Gippsland, where we've had Australian bass going in, and it was a pretty nice day at the office when I had my jeans pulled up to my knees and I was there with my feet in the water in the high summer in the snowy river. It was just so beautiful. 235,000 silver perch fingerlings across northern Victoria. Rocklands reservoir, which I know you've talked about on the show, people are really excited about in that beautiful Grampians region. Got 431 golden perch and Murray cod in its first year, and that's going to be an amazing fishery that's going to develop over the next few years. Lake Epilogue, 300,000 native fish yield and 427,000. Lake Hume, 320,000. Gumbower Creek, 300,000. So today, just a small number, 300 rainbow trout, but they had 500 just before the school holidays. They'll get some more before the next lot of school holidays, and this is a place that we're stocking year round. So keep an eye out for the truck on the road because they are going everywhere.
Yeah, putting a few Ks on the truck, which is a brilliant thing. Minister, again, thank you so much for joining us. This is a big deal. It's a beautiful day. 300 trout just been released into Pakenham Lakes here in Packy. Beautiful big playground in front of us here. The kids are having a ball. This is going to be the place to be come school holidays, and it's because of programs like this. We really appreciate your time, and more importantly, I'll have a chat to Dave and we can just tick off one more thing on that list. So congratulations, Minister. We appreciate your time, and well done, because I think this is a big step forward again for recreational fishing.
Thanks, Adam. Very nice to be with you, and I'm looking forward to coming back into the studio at some point and checking out your new setup.
Definitely. Now, we don't have much time till the next break, but Trav, I want to quickly throw over to you. Congratulations, because it's another huge win for the recreational fishing sector. Yeah, well, I just want to say to all the team that that really work hard on this, places like, the Loddon, Campaspe, the Goulburn, Eildon, Rocklands, Cancurran, Epilogue, like everywhere across Victoria now, we're putting fish in, and we're putting lots of fish in. So, lots of smiling kids are going to be out there catching a fish, which is fantastic. Yeah, it's gold. So just securing those fisheries for a long time. So a huge deal, and well done to everyone involved. Now, after the break, product of the week, and we talk rock lobster tagging. Right after this, I'm Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking Fishing.
Thought we'd have a bit of fun with product of the week this week and get back to looking at a few lures. Now, the ones I'm about to show you probably aren't exactly brand new. You may or may not have seen them before, but there's a reason why I wanted to show you, because these are some of the most realistic lures and plastics I've seen in the market for a long time, and it just shows you how far some of this stuff is coming. I've got a range of stuff here by a group called Chase Baits. Chris, you know about the hype. You saw all about this.
I've seen it.
I'm gonna open up with the ultimate squid. They've called it now. It was going to be smash squid, but it's now ultimate squid. It's quite hard to see because they are quite. There we go. This would have to be the most well-received soft plastic I think I've ever seen since I've been working in the industry. The hype that this thing got at the trade show last year was enormous, to the point where everyone's been struggling for stock. We're behind that now. You can find them in most tackle stores. That is one of the coolest lures you'll ever see in your life.
And if you actually see it in the water, the sides flutter.
Yeah.
So it actually looks like it's hovering.
Yep.
So it's an amazing lure.
Heaps of videos online about it. But more importantly, what are the catch rates like been on them? We've seen a few snapper.
Seen a few snapper. There's been some kingfish. They've been popular
catch
offshore.
On it. Yeah.
Lots of the reef species.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flathead. I've seen flathead caught on it.
So that's the ultimate squid, and these are pretty cool because prawn lures, we've seen heaps of them, but nothing quite like this. That is one of the most realistic prawn patterns I've ever seen. So they've actually got a couple of ribbed pieces in the tail there to get your ultimate tail action. But the one thing worth noting, they come rigged in the packet in this weedless style rigging pattern, and the reason for that is if you ever watch a prawn in the wild, it doesn't sit with its head down. They actually sit quite neutral. Having that weight basically spreads through right down the base of the hook there, keeping it quite neutral in the water, just to give it that ultra realistic action. It's already got the look. The rigging makes the action realistic. I could just think in the middle of prawn season, middle of January, February, with a real big prawn like that down at Lake Tyers, that's got a flatty written all over it.
Absolutely.
And very quickly, last but not least, the smash crab there, which we've had this on the show before. I wanted to bring them back in because, Chris, we're having a chat about these.
Gummy sharks.
All right.
Yep.
So gummies will hit those, will they?
Yeah, working very slow, almost bait fishing.
It is. Fantastic.
It's one of the few lures I've seen that will actually catch you a gummy shark. And have a look at that for the presentation of a blue swimmer crab.
Yeah.
Big snapper. Yeah, great. So that's the range of chase baits. Pop into your local and have a look. I think you'll be very impressed because the way in which these plastics are starting to look is unbelievable. So that's product of the week. That's chase baits. They are crazy. Jump in and have a look. I'm going to throw very quickly to the next little bit because we're going to have a look at the rock lobster tagging program.
Yeah. We've
got a short video first, so have a look at that and we'll come back and talk to Travis about the reasons for this program.
From the 1st of July 2017, all recreational fishers in Victoria will be required to tag all rock lobsters they harvest. This will help quantify the overall take of lobsters by the recreational sector, contribute to the sustainable management of stocks, and ensure we have a fantastic lobster fishery in the years ahead. Tags will be free and available online as part of this 3-year trial. This video provides a step-by-step guide as to what's involved in the ordering of tags, how and when to attach them, and reporting their use back to fisheries. Ordering tags is simple. You can download the app from the App Store or Google Play, or jump online and visit this address. Create an account, enter your details, make sure your delivery address is correct, and order the number of tags you need. You can order up to 20 tags. They'll be posted to your nominated delivery address, free of charge. Delivery will take between 5 and 7 business days from when you place an order. If you're going on holidays, you can get in, change your delivery address to make sure you'll have enough tags. When your tags arrive, add them to your dive gear so they're ready to use. We want to encourage people to be organised and prepared with tags so they can get in the water whenever the weather's right. The requirement to tail punch rock lobsters still remains unchanged, as do the size limits, bag limits and possession limits. If you catch lobsters from a boat, tags must be attached within 5 minutes of returning to the vessel. If you're returning from a shore dive, tags must be attached within 5 minutes of landing and within 50 metres of where you leave the water. Attaching tags is easy. They're just like a zip tie. We want to make sure everyone can go fishing and take home some crays. You can transfer some of your tags to your friends or family as long as they've got a tag account. Simply do the transfer on your phone or computer before you head out fishing. To make sure we have an accurate estimate of the total lobster harvest by recreational fishers, we need people to report the use of their tags. To make it easy, we've created a straightforward process you can do through the app, on your smartphone or tablet or on your computer. Just log in, go to Report Tag, select the tag you've used from the list and enter a few details about your catch. The date, the area you caught the cray and the length of the cray's carapace. That's it. We really want to encourage divers to get into the habit of reporting their tags as soon as possible, especially if you're cooking the cray or giving it away to friends or family. If you're getting low on tags, just order more. You can have 20 at any one time and top up as you report. If we all do our bit, the new requirements to tag rock lobsters will help fill an information gap about overall recreational harvest. That's important for us as managers of the resource and important for you as fishers, and absolutely vital to the long-term sustainability of stocks.
Now, don't stress if you missed any of that, because we'll upload that to our social media avenues during the week so you can re-watch. But Trav, what have been the initial results from this sort of program?
I'm just going to say, Adam, like, all credit to rec fishers in Victoria for getting behind rock lobster tagging. We're the only state in Australia doing it, and it's about making sure that your kids and my kids and everyone else can go out in the future and get a cray. It's a great fishery to go out there, but we want to make sure we've got it for the future. And Victorians have really got behind it, and they've picked it up. There'll be a graph coming up soon. We've given out, we've given out a lot of tags, but we've had, so far nearly 6,500 tags actually been reported as used. So then we know how many lobster are being taken by the rec sector, how many are being taken by the commercial sector, what the fishery can sustain going forward. So the next time you're out, summer holidays and you want to go and get a cray, hopefully through this program, we're going to make sure that that can be there forever.
Yeah, and I guess that's the big point behind it. People
Absolutely.
Automatically assume the worst when they see programs like this come about. They just think it's all in trouble and it's too little too late. Yeah. It's not about that at all. It's making sure, as you said perfectly, in the future when you want to go and get a cray, there's plenty there. It's just so we know what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we let the fishery go, and if at some stage it got overfished, there's a lot more people coming to Victoria at the moment, a lot better gear. People will be going, fisheries, why can't we get a cray anymore? But again, credit to fishers out there. They've really got behind the program, and we're really, really happy with it.
As I said, if you did miss any of that information, we will upload the video to social media during the week. So have a look at that and get amongst it. It's all about looking for, making sure we've got these fisheries for the future. Up next, Cramer's mailbag and plenty more with Chris and Trav right after this.
Talking fishing.
From apparel to footwear, the Performance Fishing Gear collection is built for fishing of all kinds. Whether you wade in sun-scorched saltwater flats, hike into mountain rivers, or fish anywhere in between, we want to keep you out there and keep you protected. As well as pants, shorts, and vented shirts, the collection includes arm sleeves, neck gaiters, hats, and shoes with drainable midsoles. The apparel and footwear in this line are built around fishing, but can be used in any setting, handling the toughest environments.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Few pieces of mailbag this week, and it's actually come in pretty good condition considering that stinking salmon's been sitting there for so long now. But the first one is from an anonymous source. Now it's to do with the Mornington Pier. So as I read this, we're going to show you little clips from a video from last week on the damage that was sustained by the pier during the last storms. But it reads as follows. Cramer, I'm a regular viewer of our program and watched with interest last night regards the discussion of Mornington Pier. So this was last week. Throughout my working life, I was employed by the Ports and Harbours and Port Melbourne Authority as a wharf carpenter and have done a lot of work on Mornington Pier prior to 1996 when the Kennett government changed the management of local ports to Parks Victoria and contractors were brought in to do the wharf carpentry. I think it's important to note that the contractor that was responsible for the rebuild of the pier is not at fault for the ongoing problems, starting with dislodgement of concrete wave achinators through to the damage suffered throughout this week. It's purely a design and planning fault that should have been picked up by any engineer with knowledge of the local area and the conditions that this area is open to. The pier is over-engineered under the seabed and under-engineered above. The piles are driven at least 20 metres into the seabed. This is overkill, as it is a waste of taxpayers' money. This money would have been better spent on ensuring the top deck is capable of withstanding the storms that frequent Mornington Pier. It is time that the fishing and boating communities joined forces and became one voice, something that I think we're very good at, I must add.
That's for sure.
This area screams for a breakwater and therefore a safe harbour, but minor lobby groups win out all the time because boating and fishing communities do not make enough noise. Throughout the years, there have been discussions on a commuter ferry operating from Docklands to Mornington and then on to Sorrento. This is not viable until the infrastructure is better protected and vessels are capable of berthing in all conditions. The concrete wave actuators are not the answer. So, basically to summarise that, they've got it upside down.
Right.
We're over-engineered underneath and under-engineered on top. That is great to hear from someone who knows what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
Very detailed.
Yeah.
So
passionate too. Yeah.
I thank you for sending that in, whoever you are. It's great to know and great guidance for us all. Again, get the voices together, work together and start getting something done, because it's a shame to see Mornington Pier closed every time there's a storm.
It's a fantastic fishery. I mean, we'd see lots of social media posts from people doing really well.
Snapper.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to protect it, and that's some great information. So thank you, whoever you are, for sending that in. Next, hi boys, this is from Glenn. I have a couple of questions in regards to Vic fishing regulations, as I find them very confusing. First off, can I fillet my catch on my boat and keep the carcass to prove the total length?
Yeah, and so there are a range of species where we ask that it must be maintained in whole or carcass form so that you can have that. So the question is, yes, carcass is okay, but so long as we can tell what the fish is, because the whole idea is so that people don't go out there and maybe catch a heap of salmon.
Yes.
And well, they catch a lot of snapper and then they try and pass them off as salmon, because they bring them in and they've gone, oh no, these are salmon fillets, they're not snapper fillets, and they might have overbagged on a species. So those high value recreational species, we say we've got to be able to see the size and the type of fish it is when you bring it in, because the fillets alone won't do the trick for us. But go to our app and go to the Vic Fishing Guide, and it'll show you the different species.
What I'd say to Glenn there, I think there can be grey areas, it can be hard to understand. Please feel free to give either myself a call, Tackle or Cramer, or give Chris a call at Trelly's Geelong. We'd be more than happy to open the rec book and try and talk you through it.
We'll always
to see how much sense we can make of it. So
sure.
I think that's probably the easiest way. It can be quite hard with having the book in front of you. So
or Rod, who was up on the video doing the rock lobster tagging. Rod did that in one take, by the way, everyone. It was fantastic.
Legend.
But Rod's down at Mornington, a fisheries officer, and he'd be willing to help out.
So thanks, Glenn. Give us a call. Last but not least, Neil McKenzie wrote to us, "G'day Dave, Adam and Trelly, loving the show, boys." Thanks, Neil. We appreciate your support. As Travis Dowling is a guest on the show next week, would you be able to ask him about the coordinates for the new shellfish reef? Where is it?
Well, it's out there. It's in Port Phillip Bay. It's on our website, the exact coordinates. I'm not going to try and go through and say that the longitude and the latitude, but I would say, and it's fantastic. Who was that? That's from Neil.
Yep.
Neil, thank you for being so interested in the shellfish reef. It's an amazing project, and I know a lot of the viewers will know a lot about it, but it's a great collaboration with environment groups, rec fishing groups and boating groups in making the habitat in Port Phillip Bay great for whiting and snapper and calamari, and it's really good project.
We've seen heaps of interest over in Geelong. It's highly anticipated, and everyone's hoping to get out there and get a few snapper.
So Neil, thanks for that. Jump on Victorian Fishing Authority website.
And
have a look on there.
Yeah, you can look through. We've got an app as well that you can grab the info from.
Beautiful. If you'd like to write into Cramer's mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Cramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Now, Travis, we want to talk to you about Rocklands because this is exciting. I'm just gonna very quickly read a little bit from a recent press release entitled "Golden Dawn for New Rocklands Fishery." Victoria's newest recreational fishery is off to a golden start with the release of 130,000 golden perch and 95,000 Murray cod fingerlings at Rocklands Reservoir in Western Victoria today. The stocking plan this summer is to release a total of 200,000 golden perch and 215,000 Murray cod into Rocklands, which will establish it as one of Vic's premier native fisheries in 5 years' time. The Andrews Labor government is investing a record $46 million into its target 1 million plan to get more people fishing more often, and this landmark stocking plan at Rocklands will do just that. I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about this because this is genuinely big time, another one. Big project.
Look, I think Rocklands is the most exciting thing that's happened for inland fishing in Victoria in my time at Fisheries. Massive thanks to people like Rob Lotes from VR Fish who pushed it, Trevor Holmes. In our office, there are people that have worked just on this for 5 years to get this to happen.
Yep.
And to your viewers out there, think about Rocklands as a lake almost the size of Eildon, but without the scarred banks. And Eildon's a great fishery, but Rocklands is a flooded forest full of timber. It's warm water, like relatively warm, and it's got 200,000 cod and 200,000 yellows in it, and we're going to keep stocking it. Look, I honestly think it'll be the best native fishery impoundment in Australia in the next 10 years. It will go nuts.
That's unreal off the back of the success we've seen of Eildon. There's a few slides up on the screen at the moment of the fish being put in there. This is not just something where you threw a dart at the map and said, let's put some fish in there. It's not as simple as that. There was a lot of work behind the scenes to get this to happen, and we're going to see the rewards.
Absolutely. And look, a lot of people have said, this is a north of the Divide native that's coming south the Divide, and we did a really strong risk assessment in terms of this. We did 5 years of work leading up to this. And what we're going to see, we've got Tolondo with trophy browns, we've got Purrumbete going nuts with trophy browns and Chinooks, and we're going to have Rocklands as an amazing, currently a great redfin fishery, but possibly one of the great Murray cod golden perch fisheries in Australia, which is, for the western districts of Victoria, it's all fishing.
Well, I can't wait until we see that first photo go up in Catch of the Week. Of someone holding a massive big Murray cod, taking on top water out of the middle of Rocklands.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be great. And again, just adding to the native fish stocks, which can only be a good thing. I look forward to seeing how this one's going to pan out because I think it's going to be quite big.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
I like it. Coming up next, this week's hotspots, and we talk to Trav about better angling access to Dartmouth. We'll be back shortly on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cramer. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for.
Hotspots, brought to you by Seamaster Batteries. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Now I'm going to fly through hotspots for this week as we've still got a lot to cover before the end of the show. So hotspot number 1, I'm going to go straight to Cramer, 18 metres. Don't ignore this snapper run. They're going to be good fish. It's going to be a very short bite time, so be on the game, be on the ball and get amongst it because these fish are going to be big. They're going to be 4 to 6 kilos and they're going to go for the next few weeks, so get amongst that. Cunningham Pier. Now, Chris, I'm going to throw over to you here because I heard a little whisper. Some good snapper are coming off the pier there.
They are. There's plenty, I'd say, pinkies at the moment. That 45 centimetre size pinky is very, very common. It's a bit of blue bait there for them.
Yep.
And there's also Australian salmon, good schools of Australian salmon, and they'll erupt on the surface and they're within casting distance of the pier.
Fantastic.
That's
exciting. So much fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Tyre Banks, monster calamari getting around the Tyre Bank at the moment. Not to be outdone by Port Phillip, which we've talked about on the calamari scene for the last few weeks. Western Ports thought, no, I'm having none of that. And they've one-upped them and sent out the big girls. So there is some big calamari up on the Tyre Bank. Get in the shallows, 3 to 4 metres of water, big size 3, 3.5, even 4 size.
It's definitely the way to go for those big squid.
Fun, because they are awesome. The Gardener's Channel, we received a really cool report of the best mixed bag you'll ever get. There was gummies, pinkies, whiting and calamari, all in the one spot. Check that out on the run-out tide as that water comes off the banks and starts filtering through the channel. Have a go. I think you'll be surprised. So have a look at the Gardener's Channel. Has to be Portland. I'm going to say Portland/Port Fairy.
Yeah,
they often get confused as being the same place.
Yeah.
But the bluefin runs started. There's plenty of them, and they are the best fun you'll ever have on
Lady Julie Percy Island, just on the south side.
There you go. Write that down. That's a cracker. And Anderson's Inlet, finally. I love this part of the world in Inverloch there. Yeah. The salmon school up in there, and you can literally spend hours. They're not tiny. They get to that kilo and a half, pushing 2 kilos. They'll run you all over that beautiful, clean water of Anderson's Inlet. Get out there with a few soft plastics or an unweighted blue bait. Focus on your tide changes. There's a big, I guess, sandbank in the middle of the inlet there. Have a look around that for a bit of structure. That'll be the best fun you've had in a long time. So suss out Andos, and that is fishing hotspots for this week. Or I should say will be the fishing hotspots for the week to come.
Absolutely.
Now, before we go, Travis, I want to talk to you about the improved angler access to Dartmouth. Now, we brought this up on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I think this is a place for trout fishing, which was, I guess, a staple a long, long time ago, but you know, through a few political moves and bits and pieces, we did lose a bit of it, but it's coming back. So as we talk about, we're going to cycle a few photos through of Dartmouth as we go through this, but Trav, Dartmouth is going to be put back on the map here. Yeah, well, look, I mean, I fished Dartmouth as a kid and caught some beautiful wild rainbow and brown trout when people passed me the rod, and it was, you know, it was fantastic. And look, it was disappointing that it was closed, and it didn't seem to be closed for any good reason. And if you're from, you know, some northern Victoria, from Melbourne, wanting to head up there, people love fishing Eildon Pondage, and it's land-based access, so they can get there and catch good fish. Dartmouth Pondage, you know, we're about to open it, and it's going to open on the 1st of May. And we're going to have an event up there on the 3rd of May that the public are welcome to come to. But Dartmouth Pondage is a whole beautiful fishing experience. And we've talked about natives tonight, but we are absolutely as committed to making sure we've got great trout fisheries. And Dartmouth will provide beautiful wild rainbow and brown trout going nuts. Yeah, it's my first experience ever with Dartmouth. We've got a great guy that comes into the shop. His name's Dave, and hello to Dave if you're watching, because I wouldn't have known Dartmouth existed if it wasn't for seeing some of the photos that you were showing me the other week and the discussions we've had over the years. There is such a good fishery there that's been closed for a long time. This has got huge potential because it's a land-based fishery.
Yeah, it's the best part.
It's very accessible, and the fish are big. A mud eye under a float. Go and throw a spinner around for a little bit. I think we saw a photo of a brown there that had a little spinner in its mouth. It's just a place in a beautiful part of the world where you can put your mind at ease, go for a walk, and catch some of the best trout you'll ever see. Yeah, look, and that's the thing, and it's a fishery that's going to reopen and it's going to be stocked. And we talk about 1 million Victorians fishing, which, you know, is fantastic to get more people fishing, more access, more locations, more fish in the water. It's not just about getting more people fishing; it's making sure they've got places to go and fish to catch. That's right. I think that's another big win. Before we close the show, Chris, the Crater Lakes.
They are still fishing very, very well. Not much has changed. Still a bit of blue bait on a light running sinker rig. Yep. So that's at Bullameri. It works at both lakes at the moment. But Bullameri is better for the Chinook salmon. But Purrumbie's starting to fire up now for trout trollers. So you still want to get down about that 10 to 12 metres of water. But as the weather cools, they're definitely going to come up on the surface and you'll be able to flatline troll all day. We'll get up around the windmill there on the east bank and cast some huge browns at 10 pound plus. We got sent a photo through to us late this afternoon, so unfortunately we couldn't fit into the show. It had already been locked away by then, but we'll show you next week. That is one of the best and biggest brown trout I've ever seen. Was it 9 pound or something? Yeah, it was close to 10, I think. It was huge, and it was in beautiful condition. We'll show you the photos next week because we could potentially get used to seeing that this time of year. As good as anything you get in New Zealand or Tassie, you know, and you're getting it in Victoria, a few hours drive from Melbourne. You know, it's just brilliant to see Victorian fishers getting out. And don't forget the brook trout too that are in there. Yeah, that's really cool. That's just awesome. That's very, very interesting. So we're going to keep an eye on
on Parramatta because I think there's big things coming.
I reckon those brook trout are going to be getting close to 1.5 kilo, 2 kilo now. So.
Big time, big time. Now, boys, thank you very much for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Chris, all the way from Geelong, I appreciate your time, mate, because it was a little bit daunting, firstly, knowing that the other two co-hosts were going to be away. So thanks, mate. You made it easy. And it's always good to hear what's going on over in Cry Bay because it's a well publicised and talked about place.
And there's heaps happening at the moment.
And there's going to be a lot going on. Yeah. And Trav, we appreciate your time, mate.
No, thank you.
We know you're a busy man, but we appreciate you coming in and just giving us the perspective from someone who's genuinely trying to look after this fishery and make sure that we've got plenty of fish to be catching for our kids and our kids' kids in the future.
Well, I know my children, Jamie, Lily and Addie, will be watching tonight, and for me it's like a passion. It's my job, and just great support from the Minister and the government to be able to do what we're doing at the moment. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Been a long time where we can say the government's looking out for us. So thank you very much, mate. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So there we go, another huge show. That's it for Talking Fishing for another week. We hope you enjoyed the show. If there's anything that you missed or would like to rewatch, this episode is up on the Talking Fishing Facebook page now, or you can watch a replay of the show this Thursday and Saturday morning on C31. Next week, David is back in the driver's seat, and our special guest will be Dr. Corey Green, who knows everything there is to know about calamari, and we chat to him about why we're seeing such a great calamari fishery at present. Until we see you again next Tuesday on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water, enjoy your fishing, and thanks once again, boys. I had an absolute ball taking over the driver's seat.
Cheers, Adam. Great job.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.